Hello guys, welcome to my channel. I'm still putting up my lapel, pasensya na. Medyo nahuli ako maglagay ng tawag ito ng lapel ngayon. But we'll begin in a bit shortly. Ayusin ko lang yung camera at ang laki-laki ng mukha ko na naman. Okay, so welcome, hello, good evening. Welcome to my channel. Tonight, pag-uusapan natin kung ano yung mga happenings ngayon that is pertinent to the international pageant season because it has officially begun. I think the first salvo started with Miss Grand International with their sashing ceremony, and then in the next several couple of days actually, the Mr. International pageant, the Philippine-based organization, will start their competition starting in I think on the 9th or on the 10th. Arrivals, I believe, starts tomorrow. And then they will be expecting the arrival of the candidates until the 9th and 10th. And then I believe na meron silang sashing ceremony or opening ceremony na mangyayari around the 10th. And then they will be going up to La Union, Baguio, and other places in the north where they will be having their activities there. Now, also, mag-start na rin yung Miss International na pageant, and a lot of their activities will be centered around the Japanese traditions, Japanese culture, tourism, and activities. So we will be expecting that a lot of the things that we will be seeing from them are mostly culture related. I also expect that sometime closer 4 or 5 days before the finals on the 26th, magkakaroon sila ng mga preliminary competition. The indoor na swimsuit presentation will happen there. As we all know, they will be judging the ladies on skin quality, on body proportions, and etc. So, yun yung mga pag-uusapan natin in this evening. And currently I'm having issues with my what do you call this, with my chat. I cannot see yung mga nangyayari sa chat box, so I'm sorry about that. I will have to refresh it in a bit, and then I will read yung mga bagong dating dito sa ating dito sa ating chat room and dito sa ating live stream. So before I do that, please hit the like button on your screens. Please make sure to subscribe in our channel so that there's more people who's going to be able to enjoy these lively discussions with everyone. Okay, so as per nakaugalian natin in the past several weeks, I've also started doing regular poll questions in our live stream. So I do hope that you check the chat box and look at the poll that we have currently. In that chat box, dun sa poll, I am giving you 3 options for the question: did you like the recently released headshots of the candidates that were posted for the Miss Universe app, where you can vote for your favorite candidates? The highest votes will automatically continue into the semi-finalist of the Miss Universe pageant later on. We have approximately around 40 something days before the voting ends, so that's a very limited time. If you want to vote, your first vote is free. The second, third, and fourth, etc. votes, you have to pay. So I do want you to be cautious of that, because this is not a free vote for the subsequent votes. If ever that you want to vote for your favorite candidates, do so, but please make sure that your bank accounts is tied up to the payments for that. Now, for the poll that we have, I did ask, did you like the headshots of the Miss Universe candidates that were posted on the app? We have three options. It's either you love it, you feel that all the candidates look gorgeous in it, or you don't, and you feel that maybe the candidates can do better. Or three, the third option, they were just so-so. Nothing really spectacular in the headshots. So right now, 55% of you guys are saying that they were just okay, so-so. 9% said no, they didn't like it. They feel that they can do better, and 36% of you said yes, you like the poll. So the poll is going to be open until the end of the live stream. So I do hope that you go ahead and click the options there for the poll. Okay, so there, our chat box is back. Ping is here. It's actually the first one to come in. Sabi niya, good evening. Okay, wait, nawala na naman yung comment ni Ping. Pasensya na. Jester PL is also here. Sabi niya, good evening, Sir Jess. Another juicy night of your session. In full swing na ulit ang pageant season. Nakaka-excite. I agree. I think that there's going to be a lot of things that we are going to be busy about in the next several days. So I do hope that we have enough, time and energy for each one of these. Ping says, hello guys, paki-like ang video. So please do, so that it will help us, reach more audience. Richmond Devaras, router, sir, sabi niya, Sir Jason, who do you think na malakas sa Miss Grand at Miss International? Okay, so as of this moment, I think that Maria Alejandra Lopez of Colombia is the girl to beat in Miss Grand. I have not seen much of all of the candidates in that pageant. I don't necessarily our relationship with the Miss Grand the MGI pageant. It's kind of in a shaky ground, but I am looking forward for Miss Uzbekistan, who is trained here in the Philippines, as well as Nikki Demora to do well in the pageant. I do hope that they do well, and I hope that they are given equal chance to possibly win the MGI title, because as of the moment, I think that the girl to beat is Colombia. As for the Miss International, I have some a little bit of bias towards the candidates from Venezuela, Colombia, and the Philippines, of course. But I am looking at several other, potential other candidates that might spring later, as a dark horse, or as a possible, potential, underdog in the competition. I think that this time around, there are a lot of girls in Miss International that are quiet and are not really very popular, because let's face it, everybody is like focusing on the Miss Universe over the past several weeks. But I don't think that this batch is going to be an easy batch. I think this batch have very, have lots of hidden gems na pwedeng manalo ng Miss International later on. So, pwedeng mambulaga, gulatin tayo maya-maya doon sa kalagitnaan ng competition. Okay, we have Will Garcia. Sabi niya, ewan ko kung ako lang, pero ako excited sa upcoming international pageants. Dahil kaya sa mga controversies. Well, I feel you. I think that is one of the reasons why you don't feel that kind of excitement as of now. Maybe when everybody has already started in their, respective competitions, kapag nasa umpisa pa lang kasi, medyo hindi pa tayo ganun ka-excited. However, when later on, we see that there's more activities going on, I'm sure it will pick our excitement. So maybe makakamdaman mo yung excitement a little bit later pa. Line spread is here. Sabi niya, how do you think MMD's headshot in Miss U app? Pag-uusapan natin yan mamaya, because I actually wanted to do a list of my top favorites for the headshots on the Miss Universe app. However, I've noticed that there are still a lot of blank spaces, blank photos in the app, and I would want to see those first, because first, wala pa ang Egypt, wala pa ang Portugal, wala pa ang Dominican Republic, China is not yet there, Russia is not yet there. So I'm waiting for those photos to be uploaded before listing down a best of, kumbaga, ng mga photos. So parang I felt that it is still unfair that I release a list of who had the best headshots, because pretty much there's still a lot of candidates that are still missing. I think Miss China or Russia is one of those candidates that will be crowned a little bit later on in the competition. So I feel that maybe I need to select the best headshot a little bit closer when they have already been crowned. Pancho Polo is here. Sabi niya, magandang gabi sa buong sanlibutan. Magandang gabi din, Pancho Polo. Headshots, sabi niya, are great because they are all looking like each other. LOL. Seriously, I've never seen this much homogeneity of looks on Miss Universe. I think, Pancho Polo, that is because all of them are not smiling. And I will discuss that later, because if you are going to look at the Miss Universe app now, there were only around 12 candidates who were smiling in their photos, and everybody is like pouting. Everybody is like sultry, fierce yung kanilang mga looks in their headshots. That's why probably you feel that they're not much diversity in the way in terms of looks. So perhaps that's the reason why. Ping is here, sabi niya, at Will Garcia, sabi niya, controversies will always be there. Kahit anong pageants may issue or nagkakaroon ng issue. I think we should focus on the girls and what at kung ano ang mai-offer nila. Okay, Aisha Sia is here. He says, hey sir, hello Aisha or Aisha. Welcome to the channel. I do hope that you'll be commenting more in this live stream. Aisha is based, I think, in France, everyone. So please give her a warm welcome. Mark Gonzalez is here. Good evening, Sir Jason and mga ka-scripters. Magandang gabi din. Mark Gonzalez, we have a lot of things to talk about. And let's begin with the Mr. International competition that is going to happen here in the Philippines. Now, this is the Philippine-based Mr. International competition. I believe that there are around expected 34 to around 40 candidates, although I am expecting that because of certain people that is lobbying against the pageant, we might be seeing even lesser candidates, because there are screenshots that are going around, floating around, that certain pageant personalities convincing, national directors not to send candidates in the Philippine-based Mr. International pageant. So I am quite shocked that it came this low in terms of how low can people get when it comes to this franchise issue. I do hope that even if they only have like around 20 candidates at this point in time, as long as they can guarantee, good staging, as long as they can guarantee that the candidates, would enjoy their stay here in the Philippines, that they would be given, enough enough importance, enough warm welcome here in the Philippines. I do hope that they are going to be excited when the competition officially begins. Now, the arrival is expected to be tomorrow. Tomorrow, of course, here in the Philippines, October 8th, and they are expected. They are expecting candidates to arrive between 8th until around the 10th of this month. And then after that, they will be going up to the northern provinces. I think they are going to go around La Union, Baguio City, and several other, major locations, tourist locations there. I am not sure if the preliminaries is going to be here in Manila, although I do expect that the preliminaries will happen up north. they might I've been hearing as well that they might have their finals up in Baguio as well. So we're hoping for a major announcement or an official announcement on that. In terms of dates to consider, I think the 16th, they've officially mentioned and published in their social media accounts that the 16th will be their preliminaries, and their finals is going to be on the 20th. So there, several candidates have already started coming in, have already arrived here in the Philippines. I believe Cuba, USA are already here in the Philippines, or at least USA is in transit. Indonesia, I believe, is flying this day and arriving today as well, or tomorrow, depending on the flight that he takes, because usually flights going to the Philippines from Indonesia, if it's a direct flight with the Philippine Airlines, it's usually a red-eye flight, and you arrive early morning here in Manila. And then what else? I also need to mention that the Miss Cosmo World Philippines is also currently happening. Their finals is this 12th at the Aliw Theater at around 8 p.m. So if you want to buy your tickets, go to their social media channels, because the details on how to purchase tickets for the finals are in their socials. Okay? Where are we now? Okay, let's talk about Miss International, because the Miss International pageant is going to happen on the 26th, the finals. And what I need to stress about the Miss International pageant this time around is that there will be a top 15 in the competition. Now, the dynamics here is that in the top 15, only the top 12 is going to be selected by a panel of judges. The remaining 3 slots is going to be selected through the Choicely voting app, and the the voting period have officially begun last October 1st. So I do hope that for those that have downloaded the Miss International Choicely app, please make sure that you already started voting, because the votes is going to be divided per continent. And unlike in Miss Universe, the Miss International Choicely voting app spreads out the continental grouping differently, because Asia and Oceania, so that's essentially Asia and Australia plus several other Pacific islands are going to be grouped together. Europe and Africa is going to be grouped together, while North and South Africa is going to be the third group. So that means that this is a little bit more nuanced in terms of the spread in the continental groupings, because instead of Asia and Africa being grouped together and Europe being a separate entity of its own, there are going to be a little bit more better balanced division in terms of the candidates. Because as you all know, Miss International has several countries within the Oceania region that are not necessarily present at Miss Universe. So there's more candidates from Asia and Oceania grouped together as compared to, let's say, Asia and Africa. So as I mentioned earlier, the continental grouping is going to be Asia and Oceania, Europe and Africa, and North and South America, and there will only be one spot available for voting in each of those fast tracks. They call them fast tracks. So please do make sure that if you have a favorite, start voting, because the voting have already started last, as I said, August 1st. Now, Another thing is that the United Nations, the candidates of Miss International and their United Nations SDG related videos and projects have already been uploaded on YouTube. I believe around 40 candidates have already been uploaded. I am not sure if there will be more, but I will double check because the last time that I checked was around 3-4 days ago. So I am sure now by this time there are more videos that have been posted there. The Miss International pageant have started since last year to incorporate United Nations Sustainable Development Goals as part of the requirements for the candidates. So that means that each candidate would focus on a project that is related to the UN SDGs and make it her own to be presented at the Miss International competition later on, which is, I believe for me, is very much a advantage for Miss International candidates that are crowned a year prior so that they have an entire year to build their UN SDG project. That is why, for me, that is perfect for Nicole Borromeo because her UN SDG project centers around safe spaces for families. And this is pretty much in relation to her field of study because she is studying to become a interior designer. And this pretty much is something that is aligned to her career and her passions. Now, Nicole has already been active as Binibining Pilipinas International for the past year from 2022 to 2023. So I think that she has already built up enough materials for her to be able to push through with her UN SDGs with partnership with organizations, charitable organizations, which is, very much aligned with Binibining Pilipinas, as well as partnering with the Habitat for Humanity. So this is very, this is very interesting. If you want to watch her video, it's I think already posted on their Facebook channels, Miss International Facebook channel, as well as in their YouTube. Okay, so let's continue with the updates because there's quite a lot. The Señorita Colombia, I think this is one of the things that you are very much interested in, has officially canceled their 2023 edition. And based on reports and based on press releases from, from the organization itself, the Concurso Nacional de Belleza, they have canceled the pageant for this year because of lack of sponsors and due to the bad economy in Colombia. They used to be sponsored by big brands, by big networks, like I believe for several years, Jolie de Vogue was one of those, big companies that are sponsoring, that have sponsored the Señorita Colombia pageant, as well as Canal RCN, which is a major television network in Colombia. However, this is a very sad development because Señorita Colombia is one of the longest running, national pageants. I believe it's actually older than our own Binibining Pilipinas pageant. They are established, I think, even way older than the Binibining Pilipinas pageant because they have, I believe, they have been in existence for 89 years. So roughly, if the Binibining Pilipinas started in 1964, so probably they started in around 1930s. So that's going to be like a huge deal for them because this is going to be the first time that the pageant, I believe, is gonna be canceled. And although in their press release they mentioned that they are going to return for their 90th edition, which is in 2024. Now, I feel that this is a very very sad situation for the Concurso Nacional de Belleza, headed by Raymond Angulo, because this pageant has been in existence for such a long time, and it has been a tradition for Colombia to have like their national pageant happen on a regular basis at around November of every year. And they have like established traditions with regards to their floats, with regards to their parades, with regards to their uh, charity works, that really has been like a part of the national psyche of the pageant. So I do hope that they will be able to bounce back, that they will be able to come back next year, because for sure, definitely, people will be very much, waiting for their return. Now, there were some commenters in when we posted about this on our Facebook account. There was some of them have mentioned that, nako, paano ba yan? Parang ganito din yata ang kakasapitan ng Binibining Pilipinas. And I think there is validity to that comment, because they're both now organizations who have lost the Miss Universe franchise. They are also two countries that are very Miss Universe centric in terms of pageantry. And at the same time, they are old institutions. They are old pageant institutions in their respective countries. And we can all say together that both Colombia and the Philippines are Miss Universe countries more than they are Miss World countries or Miss Earth or Miss International. However, I think that there is also a difference in the way how these two organizations are run, because one, I think the Señorita Colombia, the pageant itself, relied heavily on its own, brand, and did not, and that reliance on the strength of their own brand, they forgot to innovate. And this is something that the Binibining Pilipinas, organization and pageant have successfully done over the past couple of years, because in terms of the way that they are doing their pageant, I believe that the Binibining Pilipinas organization gave us, the high level of entertainment that we've accustomed with in terms of pageantry. I think that the mere fact that they are continuously upgrading, technologically wise, upgrading their level of entertainment. We've seen them, upgrading and updating their very old traditional na theme song with the involvement of P-pop SB19 to sing their new version of a very, very old song that has been there since, I believe, the 1990s or the 1980s. I'm not sure when it was first used, but I believe the first time that I heard it was around 1996, that pageant in 1996. So I think in terms of the way that the pageant has been managed, I think that the Binibining Pilipinas, with the injection of new blood, younger blood into the organization, they have made sure that, the Binibining Pilipinas legacy as a pageant would continue. And I think this is where the Señorita Colombia has, stagnated, because you cannot allow yourself, to be reliant on your own brand name, to an old brand name, and not innovate. I think that is essentially one of the things that the Miss Universe organization is very good at, where they keep on innovating, they keep on making changes in the pageant itself, whether it's updating their eligibility requirements, updating, their target market by allowing more women to be able to participate, whether they're pregnant, married, single, or not, whether they are with child, whether they are not with child, whether they are pregnant. You can now join Miss Universe. And I think that is, one of the good things when you are being welcoming to change. So I think that in terms of that aspect, Miss Universe has it right. It may not always have made the right decision in the eyes of most pageant fans. However, I do think that a lot of us, appreciate the conversation around that. A lot of people, because of the openness, the continued, acceptance, has already allowed these changes to be, there's, although there's some resistance on that initially. I think we are becoming more open to these changes as time goes by. However, with regards to both organizations, the Binibining Pilipinas and the Señorita Colombia, they are still maintaining their old eligibility rules. Now, if you are doing that, then you have to innovate on other aspects. And I think that is one of the areas that Binibining Pilipinas have done successfully by introducing augmented reality, by introducing, what do you call this, large LED screens on the flooring of their stages, have like 6-meter tall LED projectors on their finals competition. So in terms of innovation, in terms of newness, there's always something you can find at Binibining Pilipinas. And I think that is one of the reasons why the Señorita Colombia has become a little bit more stale, because they haven't really made sweeping progress in that area. So I do hope that when they do come back next year, they will be able to secure more sponsors, because if there's no sponsors supporting you, you really have very small, area of movement that you can work around with. There's there's very narrow space that you can make decisions or make great strides on. And I think that is the advantage of the Binibining Pilipinas pageant, because they are part of a larger conglomerate. And when you are a part of a larger conglomerate, you are being supported by other companies within that same that same organization. And I think that is something that Señorita Colombia do not have. So that is in essence a weakness on their area. So they really need to innovate and bring something new into the table, much like how Binibining Pilipinas are continuously pushing boundaries, adding newness, making changes in terms of the way that they cater to the needs, whims, requests of pageant fans. So I do hope that in the future, all of these traditional pageants who have like 50, 60, 70 years, 90 years in their belt, are given opportunities, or rather would have the opportunity to expand and grow and upgrade, because you cannot simply rely on your strong brand equity without how to say this, you cannot rely on strong brand equity alone if there are areas that other competitors are starting to innovate on and get more market audience, or get bigger slice of the market pie from your end. So I do hope those kinds of things are something that the CNBB organization would start to think of in terms of how to add more value to the organization and to the pageant itself. Okay, let's start with some comments. Okay, Sabi ni Going Popcorn, nakaabot din po sa live. Hello po sa mga kasashes and Sir J. Don't worry, we are going to make this a very quick live stream discussion because nag-uumpisa pa lang naman tayo in terms of the international pageant season. I just wanted earlier to get ahead away in terms of the Mr. International, Miss International, and the Señorita Colombia na mga points because I think we are going to be spending a little bit more of the time discussing the what do you call this, the headshots that is available on the Miss Universe app. Pancho Polo says, good move by MIO, the Miss International Organization. Actually, it's not the just the MIO. It's actually the ICA who is in charge of the Miss Universe or Miss International Organization. Okay, good move by MIO to do continental grouping, especially Africa, given the recent successes of Uganda, Kenya, and South Africa. We might see Africa placing really high or final winning. I agree, and especially with this, with this changes that is being instituted by the ICA and the organization itself. I am expecting that a woman of color might eventually win Miss International this year. This is just a wild guess. This is just a hunch at this point, but I am starting to feel that we might be seeing and looking at the possibility that we might see a Black African win Miss International this year, especially with the pronouncement by Sir Stephen Diaz when we interviewed him in when he visited with Miss International Jasmine Selberg earlier this year, that they are moving from the traditional Miss International mold that everybody is thinking of. So I think that moving forward, we will see ladies with a little bit more personality coming off as possible winners. So I am hoping actually that we don't see a very restricted Nicole Borromeo in Miss International later this year, because when I know I'm gonna get I'm gonna get some trouble with what I'm going to say, but when we saw Nicole during the Miss International send-off for her at the Skyview in Gateway 2, I actually personally felt that she was holding back, or she was trained to speak in such a very deliberate manner. Like there is like a pattern in the way that she talks. Like it goes up and then goes down, and then it goes up again, it goes down. So there is like a certain rhythm in the way that she speaks, the way that she talks during the send-off. I feel that that might not be the right strategy for her, because when we met Nicole last year, she has a little bit more spunk in the way that she talks. She has an excited, happy energy that is radiating from her on a regular basis every time that we see her, and I think that is the Nicole that would get more attention rather than the very restricted, or rather very reserved type of Nicole that we saw during the send-off. I am hoping that her very mellowed energy at her send-off was just because she was tired, or that she was so busy that she has a lot of things that she needs to do, and it was just exhaustion on her end. But I do hope that ultimately, the more spunky, more energetic Nicole Borromeo is the one that we see competing at Miss International later this year. I am hoping that she brings that kind of energy, because I think that is the reason why she was selected as our rep for Miss International. And I do hope that regardless of what her placement is going to be later on. That kind of energy, the kind of spunk and joie de vivre, joie de vie, sorry. I think that's the right way of pronouncing that French term. She brings that into the table. Because when we saw her with Jasmine Selberg, nakitaan namin na ay pwede tayong manalo kasi kung ganda lang ang pag-uusapan, ang ganda ng ang ganda ng laban ni Nicole. And we're hoping that in terms of vivaciousness, in terms of the energy that she brings later on at Miss International, yun din yung dalhin niya from her Binibining Pilipinas journey going to Japan later on. Okay? Where are we now? I think Pancho Polo, or Going Popcorn, sorry. We ended with Pancho Polo and we're now looking at Going Popcorn for the next comment. Sabi niya, baka may economic turmoil sa Colombia, thus the lack of sponsor. Pero huwag naman sana Binibining Pilipinas will go on that route. I think malabo din naman kasi ang dami na ding nawala sa Binibining Pilipinas, but the sponsors are still there. I think there is a certain beauty when you are part of a conglomerate, and with the way that the Binibining Pilipinas organization is structured, it is a part of a larger, group of companies. The Araneta group of companies, despite Binibining Pilipinas being a charitable institution, it is supported by, all of their other businesses. And you have to understand, real estate is essentially the biggest, business of the Araneta group of companies. That is why, if you look at Araneta City today, you have Farmers Plaza, you have Farmers Market, you have Gateway 1 and 2, you have hotels that is being built aside from, Novotel. You have Ibis Styles Hotel that is being currently built near the same area of, the Araneta Coliseum. So everything is going to be interconnected later on. The old Shopwise building has started to become vacated because that area would later on be demolished. And from what I've heard, there is plans to put up either a condominium or a hotel facing Novotel, facing Araneta Coliseum, or a new mall development will rise on that area later on. So these are very exciting things for the Araneta group of companies that benefits the Binibining Pilipinas organization later on. Because even if they don't have, let's say, major sponsors like the Philippine Airlines, PAL, Crimsilk, that during the exodus of these brands to the Miss Universe Philippines organization in around 2020, 2021, Araneta was able to stand ground because they have their own group of companies that would help the Binibining Pilipinas organization through Pizza Hut, Dairy Queen, what else? Taco Bell, and then you have Araneta City and all of these businesses within the same conglomerate. So if you have time later on, please do watch the live stream and the video that I've posted several months back on the pageant business structures. And I've explained in detail, how Binibining Pilipinas as a charitable institution is able to leverage itself and make itself afloat in the very, in the ever-changing landscape of, beauty pageantry all over the world. Now, in terms of the trajectory that Binibining Pilipinas is going, I think if there is one thing that I want them to change was the very strict, how to say this without getting in trouble, the very strict communications or permissions for media access with regards to the candidates. Because I think that is the reason why now, if you look at the the candidates or the winners, not a lot of them have a lot of following as compared to the previous queens or the previous batch of winners, because they have been very much guarded by the Bining Pilipinas organization and Araneta City in terms of access, in terms of interview access. I know that ito pwedeng ikakapahamak ko later on, but isa sa mga hindi ko nagustuhan na nangyari during Binibining Pilipinas this year was yung ang tagal ng approval or ang haba ng kinakailangan mong explanation kung gusto mong interviewin ang isa sa mga candidates this year. And without, pageant media giving exposure, having, access to the girls for interviews, nagsasuffer ngayon yung girls in terms of yung kanilang popularity. That is why, sa tantaha ko, hindi ganun kapopular yung batch 2023 as compared to the batch 2022. Na kung tignan natin yung mga media exposure ni na Chelsea, ni na Gabby, ni na Roberta, ni na Nicole, di hamak na mas maraming content on these queens as compared to Anna and Angelica and Katrina as well as Rain. So medyo nahuhuli sila in terms of the exposure. And I know na gusto lang naman na protektahan ng BPCI at ng Araneta City yung mga girls, but not allowing them kahit na online interview, na kinakailangan ipaalam muna sa mga kataas-taasan yung proseso ng pag-i-interview, nakaka-discourage din ng possible na exposure on the girls. So I think nowadays media interviews with the large na mga networks, they're not helping as much as pageant media on social, because the dedicated na mga pageant fan are actually on social media, not on the pages of these large na mga networks, TV networks, or even newspapers. So I do hope na na samantalahin ng BPCI at ng Araneta City yung mga relationship nila with the pageant media, dahil they can leverage support from social media pages, pageant pages on social media, to give them the exposure that they need for their queens. Ayun, medyo napahaba ang explanation ko nung dun sa comment ni Pancho Polo. Okay, now next is we have this comment from Going Popcorn. I think it's kay Ping na. Sabi ni Ping, DPCI does not have financial issues, kaya hindi magagaya sa Señorita Colombia. Kahit na mangyari pang Miss International na lang ang title niya, tuloy yan. And I think that is, that is true, because if the rumors are true that there are going to be only one, title next year, that is where the litmus test is going to be, because if they are able to survive with just one franchise with Binibining Pilipinas, I think it will only cement the fact that BPCI has been doing everything right in terms of long-term viability of the pageant. Okay, another thing, continuing dun sa comment ni Ping, sabi niya, I can say na mas matatag pa ang mga Araneta kaysa kay Kunan. I kinda agree, because despite all of these, turmoils in the business, I think iba pa din yung savvy ng Binibining Pilipinas and the Araneta group of companies when it comes to weathering very tight spots and situations economically. Okay, let's read some, let's go back dun sa poll natin kung ano nang nangyayari doon. Currently, we have 48% saying na all the candidates look gorgeous in the headshots that was posted in the Miss Universe app. On second place, with 37%, people, 37 of you says na so-so lang yung mga pictures. And then 15% is saying na no, they could have done better. Okay, let's continue with some of your comments before going into the headshots in this live stream episode. Sabi ni Going Popcorn, may kasabihan at biroon nga na Binibining Pilipinas doesn't need the sponsors because they are the sponsors. Malalim ang balon, ika nga. And totoo, kumbaga, they have deep pockets. That is why they haven't had any major issues financially that we are aware of. Okay, Saldi Salen, sabi niya, I think what happened to Señorita Colombia won't happen to Binibining Pilipinas. The Araneta's own the venue and have ample resources. They could also tap sponsors among some of the establishments within Araneta City. Agree. And from what I know, their stay at Novotel is also sponsored by Novotel itself, which is another business within the Araneta City, Araneta group of companies. And later on, if in case that they want to host an international event, you now have two options. Ibis Hotel, Ibis Styles Hotel that is opening soon, and you have what do you call this, Novotel Hotel if you want a little bit more pricey, a little bit more upscale hotel stay. And aside from that, all of these hotels is going to be accessible via Gateway 1 and Gateway 2 later on. So it means that when it comes to lifestyle, there will be a lot of choices for everyone, especially if you are going there to watch, let's say, an international convention, a P-pop concert, or a pageant, an international pageant maybe in the future. So everything is going to be very accessible. Okay, nasa ba tayo? John Snow 79 is here. Sabi niya, hi Jason, regarding legacy national pageants, I think CNB and BPCI should follow Miss France. Very entertaining ng pageant nila. Regarding Miss International, if they're moving from the traditional, bakit ganon si Nicole? That is exactly what I am having some difficulty understanding during the send-off, because it has been pretty much documented that Miss International is breaking out of its traditional mold. And it also feels like if this is the kind of training that her camp is providing, they might be out of touch, or her camp might be out of touch of all of these developments. Because if you're looking at the pronouncements of Sir Stephen alone, you would know that they are trying to make changes in the organization. So I do hope that if our campaign with Nicole does not work, I do hope that the same spunk and energy and vivaciousness that we see in Angelica would be the answer to that in the 2024 edition. Okay? Nasaan na ba tayo? Okay, kasunod ito doon sa comment ni Jon Snow. Sabi niya, parang Japan pa rin. Hirap pa rin lumayo sa kinasanayan na pinapadala natin sa MI. Travel Junkie is here. Sabi niya, nakahabol po, team replay. Medyo mahaba-haba na din. But I think marami pa naman tayong mapag-uusapan, because we are going to talk a little bit later on the headshots. Tapusin lang natin itong mga comments. Sabi ni Jon Snow, 79, sana lang doon sa pavote ng MI, walang auto-votes voting, kasi kung ganon, Either Bitchin, Indomie, o Pad Thai ang pasok sa Asia and Oceania. Kita naman sa ibang pageants, unfortunately, umay na ang Pinas sa votes. I kind of agree. I think that nowadays, most Filipino fans, kinakailangan mo pang yugyugin para lang mag-vote online. So, I do hope na since I think there are free votes naman dito sa Choicely na app, samantalahin natin yon. Going popcorn, sabi niya, sana magkaroon na din ng branded crown ang Binibining Pilipinas, tapos mamahalin ng value. Pero isang crown na lang talaga sa BBP. I do hope na may mag-sponsor talaga and magustuhan ng BPCI yung partnership with the crown sponsor. Nasaan na tayo? Saldi Salen says, kahit MI na lang ang matira sa Binibining Pilipinas, I think it would survive. Gawin na lang sana nilang entertaining like Miss France. They don't need so minor pageants. The new rules of MU won't fit with Binibining Pilipinas. The new rules of MU won't fit well with BPCI. Okay, so let's now talk about the Miss Universe, headshots, because the reason why I ask kung bakit, kung nagustuhan niyo ba yung yung headshots this year, it's because I am at the fence in terms of whether or not I like or I don't like the headshots this year, because the headshots this year that is available on the Miss Universe app are submissions from the candidates themselves. So each of the countries are responsible for sending them options for their headshots for the Miss Universe app, and it's up to the Miss Universe organization to select which one of those photographs they're going to use for their website and for their communications, etc. I kind of find this like a very huge downgrade from the fact that before we had headshots, we have swimsuit portraits, evening gown portraits, we have the Fadil glam shot. Despite hearing rumors that they might be bringing Fadil back in Miss Universe this year to do, some glam shots, I am not putting a lot of stock into that, because remember in 2019 where they said that they are going to have they were going to bring back Fadil glam shots for the Miss Universe pageant. We kinda expected more, only for it to be like headshots of the girls for the souvenir program that is only made available to the national directors. May nagsabi sa akin na meron daw nakabili, pero may mga nagsasabi sa akin on the venue na walang binibentang souvenir program during that year. So I am kinda on the fence because it's contradictory. However, when we were looking at the headshots that Fadil posted on his social media, karamihan sa mga nilabas niya are collage of the candidates' headshots. And I am particularly disappointed because inilabas nyo na nga si Fadil, hindi nyo pa ginawang assets yung mga photos na to for publicity of the girls for the Miss Universe that year. And remember, in 2019, I think the pageant ran only for around 10 days, or a little bit over a week. And a lot of people are not necessarily happy with the outcome of the pageant itself, because the runway looked terrible. The VIP section were not very happy with the seating that they are looking at the backs of the candidates. So there's a lot of things that we are not pretty much on board with that edition. And another thing that I want to mention about the headshots this year is that out of 80 plus candidates, I know that there are still a lot of empty spaces, candidates that have not yet been uploaded in terms of their photos, like Dominican Republic, Russia, China, Italy, Ireland, Portugal, and several other candidates. I kind of find it kind of repetitive, or I don't want to say boring, but I think I find it very much the same old in terms of the kind of photos that I see, because only 12 candidates smiled in their headshots. So it kind of like it doesn't sit well with me, because these candidates gave you several options, and if they're only able to give you like fierce, non-smiling, sultry looks, where's the versatility in there? So I kind of was like looking for more diverse photographs, because they wanted it to be okay. Submit your own photo. Might as well, give them options where you're smiling or you're not smiling. And I kind of felt like a lot of the girls were very trying hard in terms of doing a very sultry na look. So I kind of wasn't, I'm not impressed, but I'm not disappointed. So I'm somewhere in between. So I'm straddling the line between, yeah, they're okay, but they could have done better. Because you have 80 plus candidates and only 12 of them, only 1 dozen of them are smiling in their photos. Kind of makes me think like, okay, is this the best that they can have, that they can provide? So I am hoping that the other candidates that have not yet, uploaded in terms of their photographs would select photos that they're smiling, that they're happy, because I kind of feel like everybody wants to have that supermodel, look that is very much not relatable, because not a lot of people are supermodel, Victoria's Secret angel in terms of their looks. So I just find it that I wanted more girls to be smiling in their photos, and maybe that's just me. Maybe that's just a personal preference. But I do hope that some of the Miss Universe organization selected some of the girls that have provided shots that they are smiling as images in the headshots. So far, the two candidates that really gave me, that had a good impression with me, among the girls that chose not to smile, I kind of like Miss Universe Spain, Atenea Perez, in terms of her photo, because it was, that it was a Fadil shot, and that Fadil shot always gives you something extra, something very pageantry in terms of her shots, whether they're smiling or they're giving you sultry looks. But the one that Atenea gave was a very magnetic kind of vibes, that it doesn't matter that she was not smiling in her photo, but rather she's drawing you in terms of how positive the aura that she has on that photograph. And it also doesn't hurt that she was wearing a white shirt in her headshot. So I do hope that a lot of girls that are going to submit their official photograph later on, because we still have, I think, Miss Ireland, Portugal, and Russia and China is going to crown their representatives a little bit later this October. I do hope that they provide the Miss Universe organization with smiling photos para naman mas gumaan-gaan yung overall na aura nung batch na ito in terms of their photographs. The other girl that gave me, that attracted my attention is actually Noelia Voigt of the US, because she was so smiling, and that the photography, I believe, is by Georgina Vaughan. Was really very good. The vibes that I'm getting from her was that she was really happy. That's why she was smiling in her photo. And when you are scrolling through like tens and tens of photos, 80 plus na photograph, you would always go, or your attention would always divert towards the one na alam mong maganda yung energy, yung vibes na lumalabas sa picture na yon. And I get that from Spain and the USA. So I do hope na if there is truth to the rumor that Fadel is coming back, we would see more of the girls smiling in their photos. In terms of Michelle, I was looking at the other angles that was published on social. I think that the lazy eye and the pout was not a good combo. I think I would have preferred seeing her in a photo that she's smiling, that she's happy in terms of the headshot. But again, that's not my, wala akong control sa kung ano yung isasubmit nila. So I do hope na in the future, we see more of Michelle and the Miss Universe candidates with photos where they are smiling. I was also hoping for Nicaragua, Shanice Palacios, to have a smiling photo, because I think that her best asset is her smile. The best facial asset that she has is her smile. So I'm kind of disappointed that she didn't choose a smiling photo for her headshot. Okay, let's now go back to the comment section. Okay, Hajiev says, hello! The headshot of Antonia looks ultra-processed. The Latinas look like the same, or baka pagod lang ako. Hajiev, you're not the only person who noticed that. I think a lot of the Latinas and a lot of the candidates this year chose not to smile in their photographs, and it kind of made it look like same old, that there's nothing new in the offering in terms of their headshots. So I do hope that the remaining candidates who have not yet been uploaded in terms of their photos be given the opportunity that they select photos that are smiling, just for diversity, just for change of the very dense type of photographs that we've seen in the voting app. Because for me, if I want people to vote for me, tatagulugin ko na lang. Kung gusto ko na ang mga tao iboboto ako, then ang ibibigay kong photo is yung photo na warm, relatable, inviting yung image. Because I'm not gonna pout dahil it might be off-putting, or it might be what do you call this? It might be cold. It might appear cold to someone who does not know me. So if I want to project a warm, relatable, welcoming na person, then I would do a smiling I would do a smile in my photographs, dahil yun yung makaka-attract ng mas maraming tao para bumoto para sa akin. And this is the reason why, if you look at mga campaign photos ng mga politician, lahat sila nakangiti. Kasi gusto nila na ipakita na approachable sila. So, yun yung isa sa mga gagawin ko in order for people to vote for me. And tinagalog ko siya dahil gusto ko tayo lang ng mga Pinoy ang makaintindi at gumamit ng strategy na ito. So, pagpasensyahan niyo lang, okay? Where were we? Sabi ni Jon Snow 79, I agree with Hajiev. Magkakamukha na sila. Same makeup, same hairstyle, same look. Baka same mom and dad, kaya magkakamukha na sila. Ayan. Jon Snow also adds na Portugal was already crowned Marina Machete, second trans entry sa Miss Universe this year after the Netherlands with Ricky Collier. Pancho Polo says, Michelle unfortunately registers better with the fierce, narrow-eyed look. Her smiling portraits, like in Vogue, are not memorable. She looked a lot friendlier during her Miss World days. I kinda agree that during her Miss World days, she looks more approachable and more warm. So I don't know if it was just a choice to go fierce 100% all the time, but I do hope na she smiles more often. Okay, Marion Grand Mangalindan says, Hi Sir Jess, tuning in from the UK. Agreed. Despite that, Miss Nicaragua seems to be the most relatable of all the Latinas. Would love to see her in the top 5. I love to see a country winning Miss Universe that is not from a powerhouse country, that is a first-time winner, kumbaga, for this edition, because that would give, spotlight to Nicaragua. I think that Shanice has a very sweet, accommodating na smile, and that is the reason why we feel that she is more relatable than most other Latinas, because when she smiles, you know that she smiles from the heart. It's not the pageant patty smile. And that is the reason why I was hoping to see Shanice, smiling in her headshots. But I do hope that later on, there will be more opportunities for us to see her, with a smile in her face in, official portraits later on. Jama Mihan is here. Sabi niya, so lazy eyes po, legally blind po ang right eye ni Michelle, kaya affected din sa smiles niya. Medyo hirap daw po siya sa lighting dahil sa eye condition niya. Okay, so if that's the case, then I do hope that they give her, contacts that would help her with her vision, or anything that would allow her to alleviate yung condition niya. But just because you have a lazy eye does not mean that you cannot, smile with your teeth showing or smiles more often. Maybe this is a choice because of that, but during her Miss World days, I kind of felt like she was more approachable, much like Pancho Polo mentioned earlier. So I'm not sure if there is a way around this issue, but I think kung if she looks best smizing, then she's left for very little choice but to smize and to pout, or to look sultry and fierce all the time. So it is what it is. Wala tayong magagawa kung meron nga siyang condition sa kanyang mata. Pageant fan NYC, sabi niya, so you're disappointed with Philippines headshot. Do you have any point of comparison from past Emmy auditions that really strike you the most? I'm not necessarily disappointed with her headshot. I just hope that they chose a smiling photo for her. Kasi I think she looks better when she smiles. Maybe that's just me. Maybe it's just a personal choice. But I think that mas gusto ko yung nakasmile siya because when she released the photo with the Miss Universe Philippines crown with the black blazer where she was smiling. I think that was one of her best photos personally for me. Saan ba tayo? Pancho Polo says, the Latinos and Southeast Asians are now looking like each other in their headshots. This batch is Megan Young 2.0. Aisha Sia says, Arbony didn't smile last year for her headshot. Again, with Arbony, I think it doesn't matter if she smiled or not in her headshot, but her bio was the one that really stood out for her. And in terms of the headshots as of last year, I remember that the one that was it Amanda that really stood out for us last year? I think it was Amanda and Celeste. Well, the one that I really remembered was actually Celeste Cortesi in terms of the headshot last year. But then again, if it were to me, you know, I would have selected a smiling photo of Celeste because she really looks better with a smile. Again, this is a personal opinion and a personal choice. I like girls who smile more often, I believe, in their photographs. That is why for me, I remember Amanda because every time that I see her in whether videos or photographs on social, she's always smiling. And I kind of feel like there is a energy around her as well that is really very fabulous and welcoming. With Arbony last year, I felt that she was, you know, the right girl for the competition because she was hitting the right, the right points. And whenever I see her in interviews or in photographs, just, you know, not just with the headshot, no. I feel that the way that she talks, you know, the energy in her voice, it felt like she's smiling while she's speaking. So, I don't know. Maybe it's just a personal preference with regards to ladies smiling in their photographs. That is why probably for me, in this batch, I remember the photograph of Miss USA because among the girls that were smiling, siya yung naaalala ko talaga. Where are we na? Pancho Polo says, Arbony set the, responding to Aisha Celia, Arbony set the bar this year for the Bella Flores x Sherry Hill looks this year. I don't know, Pancho Polo, kung ano naintindihan niya yung reference mo because I think Aisha is not Filipino. Pageant Fan NYC says, can we start mentioning Philippines rather than just her name, Michelle per se? LOL, she's now representing us all. I think whether we call her Philippines or Michelle, I don't think that's going to be an issue because she is essentially Miss Philippines. We all know naman that when we talk about Michelle, she is the representative from the Philippines. So, sabi naman, dagdag pa ni Pageant Fan NYC, yes, I agree with Venezuela last year. So, and I think iba yung vibes kasi ni Amanda Dudamel last year, kaya siguro naaalala pa rin natin siya. And this is also the reason why when me and Mark had our list of girls for possible, you know, Miss Universe na winners, mula umpisa, Arbony and Amanda were always in our list. And they are always within the top 5 of our list simply because they were hitting the right notes for the pageant. When the Miss Universe said that they're going to go sustainable with their sash, you have 2 girls that are advocating for sustainable fashion, both being designers themselves. And then you had Arbony, mentioning about being a force for good, which later on was the name of the new Mawad crown for Miss Universe. So it kind of felt like they're all, both of these girls, were hitting the right strides to become Miss Universe during their year. Okay? Jon Snow 79, sabi niya, maybe unpopular opinion, I did not like MMD's headshot. She looked weird. Parang ganun ba atake ng mga reps natin? Both MMD and Nicole look weird. Parang hindi natural. Pati si Nikki, weird mga damit. Let's wait and see. I think meron pang mga tao ito. May mga arsenal pang ilalabas. May mga bala pang ilalabas. Sina Nikki, sina Nicole, saka si Michelle as the competition progresses. So, let's move on kay Going Popcorn. Sabi niya, medyo mabagal lang po ang promotion sa SOCMED ng Mr. International PH edition, or is it just me na nagre-reserve sila ng pasabog pero malapit na ang contest? Pero like everyone, sana maganda ang production ng final pageant. Sana magaganda photoshoot nila just like last year. I do hope that's the same thing. I do hope that this year they will also keep, Raymond Saldana to get their official photographs for Mr. International Philippines na organization, because ang ganda talaga nung mga shoots na ginawa ni Sir Raymond. So let's hope and pray na he's going to be back to do all of the official portraits of the candidates this year. Okay? Any last na pahabol? Okay, let's go back to our poll, because now 44% is saying that they all look gorgeous, na wala silang problema, that they like the Miss Universe headshots this year. 39% said that they were just okay, on the fence, pretty much like me. And then 17% said that they could do much better. Ayan. I think to recap dun sa ating live stream discussion for this evening, I think that with regards to the Miss Universe headshots, I do hope that they are going to bring the same kind of uniformity that they had during the Trump era of the Miss Universe pageant. Because during that time, all of the girls were all dolled up with the same look, so that we can gauge, how the girls really look like and how do they stack up against each other. Because we do not know the extent of the airbrushing, the photoshopping, the filters in the photos that we've seen in the headshots this year. So I do hope that maybe, in the future, Kun An and the Miss Universe organization would bring back the glamorous na face of the Miss Universe pageant, that they would give a little bit more budget into having the girls, be photographed by Fadil and have that, semblance of traditional pageant glamour that we are used to during the 2010s, where we had a lot of glamorous glam shots, headshots, and swimsuit, evening gown portraits of the girls, because that is something that we miss in the Miss Universe organization. So I do hope that if there are truths to the rumor that they plan to bring back Fadil for this year, they do so, because the Miss Universe organization, or the Miss Universe pageant for that matter, really needs a win right now. With all of these issues going on, with all of these, accusations, whether it's the Miss Universe coin, the scandal on the Miss Universe Indonesia pageant, and now we also have the issue of Miss Universe Vietnam, have accusations of pageant fixing. We really need the Miss Universe organization to have a win, because once that I am able to watch, the documentary on how to fix a pageant that has been released in Hulu. I don't know yet if it when is it available for the rest of the world to watch, or if I'm able to access it later on. I don't think that that documentary will add on something positive to the Miss Universe brand. I think that documentary, when everyone is able to watch it, it's going to damage the Miss Universe organization, the Miss Universe, the Miss USA organization a little bit further because of allegations in that documentary. I've read some tidbits of what the documentary might have in terms of content, and it doesn't look good for the Miss Universe organization. So I do hope na I am able to watch it sooner or later dahil I want to have and present that discussion with you later on. And I am also looking at the issue of the Miss Universe Vietnam because there are now allegations that there was bullying going around, and there was issues of pageant fixing in favor of the winner. So we will be looking at those later on kapag we have more updates, news, and information available. Okay? Last na mga comments, sabi ni Aisha Sia says, I can't wait for MUPH 2024. I agree. I do hope that the MUPH next year would be not as terrible as the edition this year. It's the stage is not too dark. There won't be any issues on the audio. There won't be another debacle on the top 18 going back to top 10, going back to top 18, and then going to top 5. That is very terrible. I don't want to see that happen again. And I do hope that if in case Hun An would visit for the pageant, she sticks in with the finals of the pageant and not just be there only until the day before the pageant. Art Torrent is here. Sabi niya, Ola friend. Sorry, na-late ako. Okay lang, Art. Team, replay ka na lang later. Okay? Sabi ni Pageant Fan NYC, Sir, when all headshots and profiles are in, can you give us reviews of not only the best headshots but also their profiles, whatever written? I think that's very important with MUO. Yes, I will definitely be looking at the profiles of the candidates. I will be looking at their headshots and come up with a list once that the entire roster of candidates is complete. And don't worry about the profiles because every year I do that. Every year I go through the candidate profiles to get know more about the girls, to get know more about who they are outside of their glamorous na lifestyle. So I think later on a lot of the basis for me in choosing, you know, the girls that I the girls that would be on my lists on a regular basis would come from their profiles. So that won't be an issue or a problem later on because I will be looking at their individual profiles and what are their accomplishments, what are their achievements, and what are the things that they will be bringing into the table should they win Miss Universe. Okay? Ayan, we're almost an hour and 30 minutes into our live stream. Maraming salamat sa mga sumubaybay. Thank you very much for the continued support and the time and the effort that you allow that you give sa mga live streams natin. Maraming salamat sa mga continuously na sumusuporta sa atin. Before we end, I do hope that you leave a like doon sa ating live stream para mas marami ang para mas lumaki yung audience natin dito sa YouTube, and it will also help me to become more visible to, you know, mga new na mga accounts on YouTube. Okay, so I do hope that for the ones who are new here, leave a like, share this live stream, and subscribe to our channel for more pageant-related content. Ayan. I will be posting a video highlight ng send-off ni Nicole a little bit later on kapag nag-start na officially yung mga mga activities ng Miss International, and then around next week I will be doing another live stream around Saturday, and I might focus on some Mr. International, Miss International na mga updates. So I do hope na hindi tayo masyadong busy next week para magkaroon ako ng enough time to do coverages on several mga pageants later on. Okay? That's it, guys. Thank you very much for joining me in this live stream. See you again next week, and have a very safe weekend, and kita-kits sa ating susunod na live stream next week. Ayan. Bye everyone, and hope to see you again soon.